Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. after I don't know how many times have I changed my cover, my fucking podcast cover, and my podcast name. I don't know after how many fucking times that I've changed it. This time I feel like this is final because this is so accurate of what my podcast and how accurate it correlates back to me. So this is a good rebrand today. So our new podcast name is called Deep Dive into Jason's Mind, because this is a fucking deep dive into my mind. I'm speaking my thoughts here 24/7 and I'm enjoying it. So today we're going to be talking about boarding school. Is it worth it or not? Because from a personal experience, now that I'm looking back, it's really hard to say, and I feel like it is a very debatable question in this situation, since I've been there for a couple of years, and it is fun. I'm not gonna say it's not fun. It's definitely some life experience, but I'm not gonna say it's totally worth it. Okay, it's so debatable. So we're gonna get started today. And I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna drink water for the next hour. And fuck this shit. My window's open and there's cars outside that are driving past and whatever and making noise. Okay, whatever. Fuck this. Moving on. So regarding boarding school, let me give you guys a little backstory first, because I went to boarding school. I started in boarding school when I was 13 or 14 years old. And the earlier you start, the better it is, in my opinion, I feel like. Because it's you're actually immersing into this whole environment of boarding school, and especially when you're going to a Catholic boarding school and not an international boarding school, because I went to a British private Catholic boarding school and it's co-education. So basically it's boys and girls and whatever. Well, okay, let's give you guys a real background first. So I studied there from 2017 to 2022. So in between it's 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 2022. So it's a 5-6 years of time being in there. And I'm turning 20 this year. So don't get me wrong, this is literally it's still so new to me. I just left. But how can I say this? Boarding school, for me, it is such a horrendous place, but at the same time I feel like it gave me some really good life lessons, and it shaped me and it molded me into a person where I have become I wouldn't have become the person this is so corny, this is so wacky, I wouldn't have become the person that I am today if I didn't go to boarding school. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that this is even a part of my life story is so interesting. But we're gonna start from the beginning. So when I was a little bit younger, okay, so in 2016, before I even went anywhere, I know, okay, so I come from Hong Kong. So this is a very international place. And Hong Kong has an educational system which is very, very stressful for students, and they're chasing marks, and it made the parents go crazy for their grades, and everybody's just fucking crazy and stressful and whatever. So I was never the type of kid that has the A's and the A's and the A's. I'm never a straight A student. I'm not even a straight B. Hold on. I was actually a straight B student with a C in probably Chinese or something. I wasn't good at Chinese. So I was not doing well in school. And it's obvious that I'm not doing well in school. So in 2016, let's not get too deep, okay? So in 2016, my parents signed me up for a 22 days trip to England. So I was in England for 22 days straight, alone. My parents weren't there. It's only me with a bunch of other kids and a tour guide, basically, like literally fucking tour guide. So no lie, this tour guide is great. I love it. The whole trip is the best trip I've ever had in my entire life. Yes, it is the best trip I've ever had in my entire life. So I have this trip that I have to state. It is in the county of Kent in England. So it's like a little bit of, I think, southeast from London. And it's pretty nice. It's so pretty. It has like amazing food. It has like a little town that is like really cool. It's called Canterbury. It is amazing. I stayed in a school called St. Edmund's School. It's so crazy. It's my first time ever been in England. And there's a lot of spiders during the summer, and there's a lot of, like mosquito. Actually, there's no mosquitoes, but there's a lot of insects in England during the summer. So I went there for summer. It was great. I love the weather. I like it there because it's just the vibe, it's the vibe that I like. It's always sunny, even though when it's rainy, the weather's still good, compared to Hong Kong. It's like relatively cold and it's really cool and it's not humid at all in England. So like I fucking love it. Because back in Hong Kong, fucking 24/7, 365, the weather just sucks. Like, a lot of people like the weather in Hong Kong, but not for me. Like, I grew up there. I do not like it there, like, at all. Like, for me, it's just wet. Like, I mean humid, but wet, the same shit. And wet and hot, and you go to the beach and it's just bad weather. Like, it's just bad weather. You can't wear anything, long sleeves, anything, like literally anything. Like, even if you don't wear anything and you walk out, which is illegal, so do not try this anywhere. You're just sweaty. It's just sweaty. But the only good thing about Hong Kong is that they have ACs everywhere. We shouldn't get into the thing of AC. So okay, we're driving off topic. So today, no. Back in 2016, I fucking love it there. So when I went back home, I told my mom and dad, I was like, I want to study in England, and so my family background, we're definitely not wealthy. Like, we're just, I would consider myself like a middle class, or more of like a normal family. I mean I'm not really sure. Like, my parents never really like disclosed anything to me, like about like their wealth status or like if they have money or not. Like, we're very like discreet and so, because we're Asian. First of all, because we're Asian, we're very like frugal on like a lot of things. Like, I don't, like, my mom and dad, like, they don't really spend much on anything, so like I can really never really tell. Like, they are not willing to spend money on technology. They're not willing to spend money on like I don't know. I just feel like, I just don't feel like they're rich. Okay, but for sure, Asian frugalness is a thing. So like, I'm not sure. Like, I would consider myself like a fucking middle class. So yeah. And my dad, okay, so back to I told my dad, like, I want to go to England to study. I fucking love it there. And my dad was like, sure, that's possible. So let's start looking at school. And it was just like that. I was sent off to England to study. First thing first, let's talk about England's education system. So there's 2 tiers, in my opinion. I don't know, like, because I've went through it. So if somebody trying to come at me, like, whatever. So the thing is, there's 2 tiers for me. So I went there when they call it 9th grade, I believe. And so you go through 9, 10, 11, and you have an exam called GCSE. And then 12, 13, and then you have an exam called A-levels. So basically in GCSEs, it is really, really just like a lot of like mandatory subjects that you need to take, like math, English. Wait, what else? Math, English, and you have to take 3 science, and like, so physics, biology, and then chemistry. And then there's like 3 elective choice that you can take, you know, like maybe let's say shit like I took Chinese, computer science, and I don't know what else. I just don't economics. So here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's definitely like something better than the education system in America. I didn't say that, allegedly. I didn't do research, so don't come for me. But in my opinion, this whole like this whole period of time from 9th grade to 11th, I had the most fun. Like, no joke, I was socializing. I was having the best fun of all time. I was selling noodles in school. Like, I literally will bring back like boxes of ramen just to sell them in school, because I'm a natural born business little Jason. Okay. But the thing is because I'm such like I have, okay, I actually don't know where I was, but back to like, it was so much fun. But would I say it was worth it if you're going for like a really, really like studious thing? Because down this road, like the path that I'm taking right now is not really that amazing in my opinion. Because look, first of all, I went to GCSEs, and GCSE is, you know, it's okay. But after GCSEs, you're gonna take A-levels, which, you know, kind of is like GCSEs, like the foundation, and then A-level is like the level above the GCSEs. Hold on, I love burping, sorry. So after A-levels, you go straight into university in the education system, and you do 3 years instead of 4, because in other countries you do 4, but in England you do 3. So basically it's just, you know, it's just equivalent of like, I don't know, maybe like community college when you're doing like A-levels. Hold on. So I need to go back and describe like the year and the experience, and is it good for children to go there? Will I send my child or my children in the future to go to, you know, a boarding school? So first of all, if you go there young, like I was there when I was young, and it is an experience. Like, it is really nice. It is like an entertainment. Like, it is like a year-long vacation for me. So I was there. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun. It was the best years of my life. I was there. Definitely some life lessons, I'm not gonna lie. There's multiple incidents where, you know, dramas are included, you know, and boarding school is toxic as fuck. So just be prepared, you know. And besides all of this, besides the experience, besides the degrees, the you know, the knowledge that you're gonna acquire from this whole, you know, boarding school experience, besides all this, it's not cheap. Like, I looked at the bills when I was there, like when I finished studying. So it is not cheap at all. It was £44,000 a year. So 44,000 British pounds a year. And I've been there 9th, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've been there for 5. So it's a 200 grand in total for me. And I didn't even do the full thing. Because the whole school, there's 7 grades. So there's wait, hold on, 9 to 7. So it's from 7th till 13th. So 7 till 13 is 7 grades. So if you're doing like the full boarding school thing, it is, you know, around like, let's say 40 times 7 is like 280k. Close to $300,000, like close to 300,000 pounds for 7 years of, you know, nothing. Because I could, like, you could have gone to public school, but it's a whole different story. And I just want to distinguish like the difference between like a public school and like a private boarding school like here. So first of all, let's talk about the food first. I think they both suck. I've never been to a public school, but I've seen it online. They both suck, but public school, at least you get to choose. In private school, the food that I had, I mean, I'm not sure if it's like the culture or whatever, but I think in general, like the food in Britain is just fucking disgusting. So like, so like I think it's just that. I think it has nothing to do with like either you're going to private school or like public school. So whatever. Let's not count in the food section. So the food aspect, we can leave it out. In terms of like educational, I feel like the tutoring in private school is like way better, because there's like a smaller class, and in the class that I've been in, the max that I've been in a class is with like 12 other people. That's the max. I've gone as low as one-on-one. Like I used to have an English teacher that I've gone as low as like one-on-one. Like I'm the only student, and all the focus are on me. So I improve, they get paid, deal. But I'm talking about like they really do focus on you, and like every student is assigned to like a tutor, you know, like a tutor as in like a teacher that actually look after you, like after your academic and like your disciplines. Not like actual discipline, but like just, you know, check up on you when you're in trouble or whatever, and you know, just like all sort of things, and it's really like student centered, which is true. Like it is something that I think public school wouldn't have, because in public school I feel like it's just more of like this public teaching, like one teacher to a ratio of probably like 30 students, like minimum. And it makes sense because it's a fucking public school, right? But in private school, it's totally different. It's like, it's just so more focused. So if like I'm behind in like in terms of like academic, like I'm not good. So having a tutor really helps me out, and they really do care. And they really do care, you know. Okay, over. Moving on to the student dorms. I've made a YouTube video about my boarding school dorm like around a year and a half ago. No, a year and like 7 months ago. Okay, similar. A year and a half ago. Fucking it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, don't expect it to be like lavish, because it's not. No, I don't think there's any boarding school in the UK that are charging $44,000 a year. I mean pounds a year. It's lavish. None of them are lavish. Okay, it's just livable, and it's okay. Like, it's not bad. It's okay, but in public school, you know. In this country, they based it with wherever you live. It's just wherever you're gonna go to school with. So like, I wouldn't say there's like a bad or good, but like in boarding school it's way more focused, you know. It's like you don't have to worry about transport, no traffics, no nothing. You walk to school, and you do everything on site. However, this is not good for your mental health. Not good for your mental health. From personal experience, it is too tight. It is really absolutely too tight. You are seeing the same people 24/7 every fucking day until it's vacation time, or until, you want to get the fuck out of the school, so, whatever. Right. And it's toxic. So the community of boarding school is toxic in general. Like, I just don't know how to explain this. But moving on, we're gonna jump back into this toxic environment in boarding school later. But now, after, I feel like comparing like public and private school, they have like both really, really just like different things, because in public school it's more on the student. If the student want to do well, they're going to do well on their own, and it really depends on how good they are on their own. But in private school, the student still has to be good on their own, but they're gonna push you more, okay? They're gonna be on your ass 24/7, and they're gonna push you like, they really are gonna push you, because I've been pushed, bitch. Like, it's just not, like, it's really a place that will push you to do your best. And I think that is nice, because in public school, I think they just don't care. Seriously, I think they just don't fucking care. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued, whatever. Okay, moving on to the next topic. The toxic boarding school environment. This is the only thing that I don't think public school has. So in a public school environment, like, you go to school and you go home after school. So you go to school at, like, let's say 9, and then you go home at 3:30 in a public school. And you don't have to see those people anymore. Like, you're done for the day. You don't need to see them for the weekend, whatever. It's okay. Like, it's like they're not part of, like, I mean they're not part of your life, but they're not too integrated into the part of your life. However, on the other hand, in boarding school, okay, I'm actually going to disclose this. I went to a school called Downside School, so, you guys can Google it. I'm no longer there. I'm safe to say it, and it's pretty nice. Also pretty expensive, so, you go. Anyways, so in a boarding school, first of all, the moment you arrive from the airport, okay, so I'm an international student, so I flew in every time. Every holiday, I flew in, and then I flew out after the school ends. Like, no, I don't even want to fucking stay there, So I flew in. From the moment that I arrive from the airport, I have to stay there for like a month until, the holiday kicks in, and then I started going on like vacations, or like, just go somewhere that we'll get into later. And it's that, like, you're stuck with these people for a month straight. No breaks, no nothing. The only thing you can do is stay in your room. Ugh, I can't even talk, look. The only thing you can do is stay in your room. And you actually have to see these people like every day. There's no breaks. And it's toxic like this, but it's not that bad when you think about it, only on this aspect. What makes it worse is the culture. I'm not talking about racials. I'm not talking about anything regarding racism yet. But let me speak. The fucking culture there. It's fun to be in a British school. Listen, don't get me wrong. British culture is amazing at some part. But as a kid, I'm definitely traumatized. Not by something big, but it's like I'm not a very sociable person. Like, I literally am not a very sociable person. So when I was like in boarding school, teachers, they're not gonna force you to do anything, but you are bound to have friends in order to survive. Like, if you don't have friends, it makes it really hard for you to survive in this boarding school. And it makes, like, back then I was like fucked up in the head, okay? So like I couldn't comprehend, like, literally I'm there to survive. Like, I don't Like, it's nothing like that. Like, you know, it's nothing like, oh my god, happy life, like blah blah blah. But it's like because I didn't really have much friends, to be fair. I have like 2 friends, and then I was there, and the thing is you have to have a friend in order to go to lunch with, in order to have meals with, because you have meals there 3 times a day. Breakfast starts at 7:30. You have lunch at about 1, and then you have dinner at 6. And I don't have, like, you know, it's just like I feel like, okay, I've never been diagnosed with anything mentally, any mental disorder. So I feel like I have social anxiety. So I couldn't really, you know, I couldn't really actually handle anything, like anything, literally any fucking thing. So I have to go to eat, right? But I don't have no friends to eat with me. And if you eat alone, you're like a fucking weirdo. And people are gonna think that you're a fucking weirdo. And people are gonna give you those stares, give you those faces, you know, give you those dirty fucking looks. Like, for what? I mean, okay, it's not the time for that. So, like, it's just a very, you know, like, childish, you know, place. And it's like not very good for like people like me. Like, not very good for people that are not that sociable, and like people are mean in school, and you know, like, boys are mean. I don't know about girls, but boys are fucking mean. Like, don't you even think that, oh my god, boys are nicer? No, they're not. They're not. Especially when they're British, they are sarcastic. And it's like how do I say this? In boarding school, it's just different. Like, it just feels different, and you have to see them like every day, and it's not good. And they are naughty, and they throw water into your room. They throw wet towel into your on your face or whatever, and they prank you, and they do all sorts of, like, you know, really naughty things that, you know, maybe like a 5-year-old boy will do. But yeah, that's all the things. If you can take it, you can take it. If not, you just cannot take it, and it's very toxic. And I've seen a lot of like Chinese students struggle because, you know, it's just not our culture. Like, cultural differences are a big thing, and it's okay. You have to integrate yourself. If not, you just gotta stick with the Asian gangs. And listen, from a personal perspective, I'm not Asian enough to be with the Asians. Neither am I Asian. Neither am I, like, culturally white enough to be with the white people. So the thing is, like, you know, I don't even know how to start with this. So let's not go there. Moving on. We're gonna be talking about something more modern, cause let's talk about race. So racism is common, okay? I went to school in kind of a countryside. People have never seen Asian people before. Like, I mean literally, like, they've never fucking seen Asian people before. They deemed me, when I first went there, they were like, you know, one kid told me that, you know, you're not normal. We are. That's what I faced when I first went there. But I didn't take offense to that, because it's like, you know, whatever. We're all kids, and safe to say it's just that. But in terms of like things, like, I have to say this, there's not a black teacher there. There's not a person of color there. They're all white. I think there's like one Mexican person as a teacher, and there's 2 Chinese, because they only come in once a week to teach Chinese lessons. But other than that, I didn't see nobody. But yeah, it's actually not even an issue. It's just like, if you know, if you're black and you want to send your children to a boarding school in England, it's like, you know, like, I don't know if you're comfortable sending that, because the thing is majority of the people in my school, like in my high school, boarding school is like, so majority of the people in my boarding school, they're like either white or Asian. So it's like either me or white. And it's not like wow, whatever. It's just so I don't know. I don't think there's a problem. The only thing, there's no problem at all. It's just, are the parents comfortable? Because it's all up to the fucking parents. Let me tell you this. But there's nothing relevant about this. Okay, moving on. The outcome. Last night, when I was thinking about this topic, I have thought about 2 outcomes of the kids. So, if you send your kids to boarding school, let me fill you in on this. There's only 2 possible outcomes. Listen, there's only 2 possible outcomes. Your kid, okay, I'm a kid, so let's use me as an example later, okay? So you will either, if you go to boarding school, you'll either, get out of boarding school fucked up, or you're gonna get out of boarding school better than ever. I would like to consider myself the latter. So what I mean by when you get out of boarding school, you either get fucked up or the other way around, because it is a very toxic environment, as I've mentioned before, and you're seeing people every day 24/7, and you started to become codependent, and you start to have this weird ass codependency towards people, and you'll be scared to be alone. I've seen these examples, and it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but it really does affect your life a little, because fuck, I love burping. But like, what I'm saying about codependency is because you are so used to being around people. When you first moved out, like when I first moved to London, like I didn't experience this, but I'm sure somebody who moved out alone, they experience like feeling very lonely. They experience like feeling very, there's like a void because they've been around with people like all their lives, and one of a sudden there's like nobody. And for them, I feel bad for them because they've been so used to like people being around, like people like similar to them. But when you move out to like a big city, there's like different people, and it's not always just people that are your age, people that goes to school, or people that have like similar background, because it's different, and it could be hard for them to deal with it. On the other hand, me as an example, I would like to consider myself became more independent since I'm not very sociable in school. Back when I was in boarding school, it is safe to say that I have become more independent than I thought I would ever be. Like I've learned to be alone better than I've ever had. Like I just feel like I grew a lot. Like it's definitely like some good growth, because like the thing is, I feel good like being alone. Like I've learned to be with myself and be friends with myself, and just figure out the things that I actually want, and sit with my thoughts, and doing all this. But in contrast, the people that I know back from boarding school, they cannot do this. They are afraid to be alone. It seems like there's a problem with being alone because they are not used to it, and is common coming out of boarding school, and that is the outcome of either being fucked up codependency shit and rely on people's spirit alone, and that's really fucked up in a sense of like living life, and toxic, and really toxic. They just talk shit all along, and there's a lot of like gossips, like whatever. Or you come out being very independent, and I love being independent. Like I feel like the latter of the outcome is like better, because I feel like that is like a better outcome than being codependent. Like, at least, even though if your morals are fucked up, like, at least you're being independent, you know? Like, at least you have one good thing. Because sometimes boarding school do fuck you up. Moving on. Will I send my kids to boarding school, especially the one that I went to? If I made another me, like if I have a little me, like if I have a kid that is similar to my mindset, is really, really similar, is as intelligent as his dad, I will. Like, I feel like my kids will survive in this school and learn a lot of things, especially learn how to cook and clean. So I think that's a skill. That is a skill of like hygiene. Because I've seen people coming out of boarding school don't know shit. They get away with the responsibility of like what they have, potentially becoming fucking criminals. And that's that. And I feel bad for it. But I will send my kids to boarding school. I feel like it is a great experience because I like yeah, it's kind of fucked up in boarding school, but like I will never, like, given anything that I've experienced through, like given anything that I've been through, I will never regret the time that I've ever been in boarding school. Like, it is just the time. Like it yeah, it could be bad, but it is just the time of, like, I don't know what time of it is, but I'm saying, like, it is an experience. Like, I feel like it is a positive experience for your kids, you know, and it pushed them through. And you know, I feel like it will teach my kids a lot of lessons if they go to boarding school, because I feel like sometimes it's just like dealing with people and living with people actually educate you a lot. And sharing things, you know, being more like, there's just stuff that you'll never learn if you go to public school, and there's just stuff you'll never learn if you live at home with your parents. Because listen, like, living at home with your parents, I do not know how to compare that because I do not live with my parents, but I do want to, like, it's just a different life. And you become less dependent on your family in this sense, if I think about it. Because you are, if you go to boarding school, you're more independent. You solve things by yourself on your own better. You become smarter in a way. And I do take that as like a good advantage of going to, like, it's beneficial, okay, to people that have been to boarding school. And I love that. So I don't regret my boarding school life, and I think I would, if I could afford it, I will send my kids to fucking boarding school, because it's not cheap. Like, it's not cheap. And my old school, they've been like increasing the price every fucking year by like 10%, or like I think 8.5 or like 5.3 something, I don't know. And it's just fucking insane, like, you know. But in conclusion, I feel like this is like my story of my boarding school. I love to have this on the record, and I love to have this, put it in a podcast for people to know more, for people to learn. Not learn necessarily, but for just to share, because it is important for people who don't know, who wants to go to a boarding school, to know what's up in a boarding school, because once you got yourself into it, there's no way coming back. There's no way going back to public school. It's weird, you know, there's like differences, and you're not going back, like, literally. And you need to know what you're getting yourself into. So, like, I'm just here to give you a heads up, to let you know what went down during my boarding school times. I love it. But yeah, if you have made it this far, I just want to say you guys are fucking amazing, you know. Just want to say you guys are literally fucking amazing. So we are currently on YouTube already. If you Google Deep Dive into Jason's Mind or JLKY Podcast on YouTube, you'll find my channel. You'll find this video. I'm hoping to schedule a podcast video every Friday, maybe, I don't know. And I feel like that'll be helpful. So yeah, if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Instagram at _JasonLai, JASONLAI _ you find my face, and I post there quite regularly. I love that. Or you can find me on TikTok, just search my name. I love that. It's literally there. I love that. And subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the podcast, subscribe to my main vlogging channel. I do have a vlogging channel. I do love vlogging, and it is such a blessing to have like a vlogging channel. I'm not even fucking kidding. Although I do not have subscribers, but I do have subscribers. Like I have like 300. I appreciate each and every single one of them. It's like a constant little support, But other than that, I feel like it's just amazing to be here on the internet, to expressing myself in a way that I've never thought that I would be able to do it, because in real life I really just don't talk to that many people. So I'm here talking to the internet. And yeah, please give me a 5-star on this fucking podcast. I swear to God, just give me a fucking 5-star wherever the fuck you are. Like Apple Podcasts, like my video on YouTube, 5-star me, 5-star review on Spotify. And other than that, I wish you guys all have a good day. Well, it's actually 7:28 in the morning right now. I love it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, you are officially a part of my community, my family. I love you guys. Okay, bye.